Tonight, as we come on the air in the West, we do have breaking news that Delta flight crashing while landing in Toronto. And tonight, what authorities have just revealed late this evening. The flight from Minneapolis crashing the jet upside down on the tarmac, the wings sheared off, the flames, the passengers, and their escape.
We just landed. Our plane crashed. It's upside down.
Passengers recording the moments just after getting out of the cabin. Firefighters racing to hose down the fuselage. 80 passengers and crew unbuckling their seatbelts while hanging upside down. Everyone getting out, but there is word tonight of multiple injuries, including a child. Authorities tonight trying to determine if weather, gusting winds, and snow on the runway were factors. You will hear from the passengers right here. Gio Benitez and retired Colonel Pilot Steve Ganyard also here tonight on the early signs, what might have caused this. Also tonight, the storm hitting the east now, the new storm right behind it. 140 million Americans on alert yet again. Already those high wind warnings from New York up to Boston. Winds gusting up to 75 miles per hour. In Philadelphia, a woman killed when a tree fell on her car. In New York City tonight, trees crashing on top of homes in Queens and the Bronx. The flood emergency in Kentucky, the death toll there expected to rise. And now this new storm coming. Ginger Z has the forecast. She'll time this out. Tonight, the White House defending Elon Musk's team over attempts to obtain access to the system that contains the tax filings and bank statements of millions of Americans. What do they need it for? As the Trump administration now fires hundreds from the FAA, Homeland Security, and the CDC. Tonight, the high-stakes talks, the U.S. and Russia set to begin to try to end the war in Ukraine. Ukraine not part of these talks, and European leaders now holding emergency meetings as well, concerned by what they're hearing and seeing. New York City Mayor Eric Adams tonight, the Justice Department dropping the corruption case. But tonight, 4 of the mayor's top deputies now resigning over this, after 7 prosecutors resigned too against the move. Tonight, the measles outbreak in part of the U.S. rising and new cases right across state lines. The price of eggs hitting a new record high, the cost for a dozen eggs jumping 80 cents in just a month. And the images right here tonight, the seal found right in the middle of the street in the Northeast. Where did the seal come from and what they did to save the pup?
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. We begin tonight here with the breaking news. The Delta jet crashing at the Toronto airport. The remarkable images, the flight out of Minneapolis crashing and flipping upside down while landing at Toronto Pearson Airport. Take a look at the images tonight showing the Delta plane upside down right there. It's landing gear you can see pointing to the sky. Passengers then recording what they saw just moments after they made their escape from the plane. They're on the tarmac right here, obviously looking back at the plane upside down and seeing what they just survived. Firefighters racing to hose it down. 80 passengers and crew on board. They had to unbuckle their seatbelts while hanging upside down. Tonight, the remarkable news, everyone survived this. But there is word at this hour, at least 15 people are hurt, including a child. At least 3 people in critical condition, including that child tonight. This evening, investigators already on the scene. You can see the engine on the plane still, but both wings are gone. The right wing torn off completely. And what our own aviation expert, pilot Steve Ganyard, said about that got our attention tonight. Why that wing coming off might have saved some of the passengers on this plane. Tonight, the FAA and the NTSB sending teams to Toronto. And of course, the key question at this hour was weather a factor. There was snow and ice and the winds. Reports of gusts up to 40 miles per hour. And this was a regional jet that might have been trying to land in these winds. ABC's Gio Benitez covers aviation, and he leads us off with the images coming in tonight.
Tonight, these dramatic images show a Delta plane flipped upside down, smoke pouring out of the fuselage, the plane crash landing at Toronto Pearson International Airport. Passenger John Nelson shooting this video moments after the crash.
We're in Toronto. We just landed. Our plane crashed. It's upside down. Fire department's on site.
The Delta Regional CRJ-900 operated by Endeavour Air traveling from Minneapolis-St. Paul with 80 people on board, arriving in Toronto around 2:30 p.m.
We just had a crash on runway 23 here.
Emergency crews racing to the scene. 17 people transported to area hospitals, a pediatric patient, a man in his 60s, and a woman in her 40s critically injured. Remarkably, no one killed.
When it came to a halt, everybody is upside down. So there are going to be injuries just getting the seatbelts out and falling to the ceiling and getting out that way.
Passengers seen escaping the aircraft.
Most people appear to be okay. We're all getting off. Some smoke going on.
Just so you are, there's people outside walking around the aircraft there. Yeah, we've got it. The aircraft's upside down and burning.
Ron James witnessing the smoke from inside the airport.
Seen a bunch of smoke, and then we've seen some fire trucks go, and then I seen a trolley carrying a helicopter, and wondered what was going on. And I got to the door of my plane, and they just said, "We're not going anywhere."
Fire damage seen along the back of the plane. The airport shut down for hours. And there are already questions about how winds and wintry weather may have impacted the crash. The tarmac blanketed with snow. Winds gusting up to 40 miles per hour around the time of landing. And it comes just weeks after 67 people were killed in that horrific crash over the Potomac between a Black Hawk helicopter and an American Airlines plane. And that medical jet crash in Philadelphia that killed 6 people on board and 1 person on the ground. While back in Toronto tonight, this major investigation is now underway.
These 2 runways will remain closed while the investigation takes place. We are very grateful that there was no loss of life and relatively minor injuries.
And David, the Transportation Safety Board of Canada will be leading this investigation. The American FAA and NTSB are sending crews to Toronto. But again, David, I've got to go back to the biggest headline of all here, that everyone on board survived, and that is simply a miracle.
Really is extraordinary tonight. Gio Benitez leading us off. Gio, thank you. Of course, the investigation already underway at this hour. I spoke with ABC News consultant, retired Colonel and pilot Steve Ganyard just before we came on the air here tonight. Steve, thanks so much for being here. I know, first of all, when you look at that fuselage completely upside down on that runway in Toronto, you can't help but think of all the passengers dangling upside down, their seatbelts still attached, just hanging inside that cabin.
Horrifying, David. But if you look at the hull itself, it's intact. That saved lives. But inside the cabin, disorientation, you end up upside down. You're hanging from what is now the ceiling. So we don't know where the injuries came from, but more than likely some of the injuries occurred when people released their seatbelts and dropped from the ceiling into what is now the floor.
Just horrifying to imagine what they must have seen outside those windows as the plane was making these turns and tumbling. I want to ask you, you're a pilot yourself, obviously. You know better than anyone else what it's like to try to land in this winter weather. We're dealing with potential wind gusts here, snow, potentially ice on the runway, and actually having to factor in those wind gusts as you're coming in for landing.
Very challenging. David, the weather in Toronto is just what most of the eastern seaboard is seeing. Blowing snow, high winds, lots of turbulence. The wind was about 30 or 40 degrees off the runway heading, and so the crew had to take that into account. There's snow on the runway. We don't know what happened, but it likely happened at touchdown because there was no Mayday call prior to touchdown.
Steve, you and I were talking, the wings are gone, the right wing gone completely, and you actually said that might have been a reason why all of these passengers survived this.
It could have helped, David. So if you think about what happened here, the airplane didn't just flip, it rolled. You see that the tail snapped off, the right wing is snapped off, most of the left wing is gone. The fuel in this aircraft, the majority of the fuel, is held in the wings. With the wings gone, most of what could have caused a major explosion was gone. We did see the one small belly tank fire. Great job by the crash fire rescue folks to get in there quickly and to put the fire out and get everybody out of the cabin.
Colonel Steve Ganyard with us here tonight. Steve, thank you. Steve Ganyard with us just before we came on the air tonight. And if we get more on this crash, we'll bring it to you right here during this newscast. In the meantime, we move to the other news on this Monday night. The storm hitting the east right now, and the next major storm now right behind it. In fact, 140 million Americans on alert again. Already those high wind warnings from New York right up to Boston tonight. Winds gusting up to 75 miles per hour in some places. And in Philadelphia, a woman killed when a tree fell on her car. In New York City tonight, trees crashing on top of homes in Queens and the Bronx. And of course, the flood emergency in Kentucky we're watching. The death toll there expected to rise. Ginger Z standing by with the forecast, and ABC's Alex Perez with the images tonight.
Tonight, the death toll rising from a powerful system that's now wreaking havoc across the Northeast. Winds gusting over 70 miles an hour in some spots, taking down telephone poles in South Jersey And huge trees all over New York City, this one crushing a home in Queens.
I thought a tornado came through.
This man's car in the Bronx totaled.
It's insane, you know?
In Northeast Philadelphia, neighbors mourning a woman who was killed when a tree crushed her car overnight.
Good, sweet, kind woman, churchly, care for everyone, have a big heart.
In Detroit, icy water inundating homes after a 4.5-foot water main burst open on the city's southwest side this morning. More than 75 people had to be brought to safety, many of them children. Over the weekend, first responders in Kentucky rescuing more than 1,000 people from floodwaters after storms dumped more than 8 inches of rain in some spots. Carrie Guy and her 2 teenagers evacuated her flooded riverfront home Sunday, but doesn't know when she'll be back.
Moving everything out is one thing. It's the 3 inches of mud that is left when it goes out. Cleanup is the worst.
And David, it might be a little hard to make out, but you can see behind me here, the water has completely taken over this community, making matters worse. Bone-chilling temperatures and snow expected tomorrow. David?
Yeah, we're thinking about the folks in Kentucky tonight. Alex, thank you. And of course, 140 million now on alert for extreme cold and heavy snow. Let's get right to our chief meteorologist, Ginger Z, back with us on a Monday night. Hi, Ginger.
Hi, David. We've seen winds gusting 60 miles per hour from Newark, New Jersey up to Boston. And those wind alerts are still on the map for at least the next couple of hours. That lake effect snow warning, too, that's for an additional 2 feet of snow. We even saw a pile up on I-90 earlier. But these are not the only advisories on the map. You go down to North Carolina, Virginia Beach, all the way back to Kansas and Oklahoma. And we've got a lot to talk about. That new storm, we will track it right across the nation here. It starts tomorrow. Wichita is going to be involved early. The heaviest snow looks like it'll fall in the Ozarks in northwestern Arkansas, right along the state line there of Missouri. You see how Little Rock is in that pink? I'm afraid they're going to see some wintry mix, maybe some freezing rain and a glaze of ice. So that's Tuesday afternoon and evening. Rough commute for Nashville by Wednesday morning because that thing wraps up and gets some snow in there for Raleigh, Norfolk, and eventually, David, we're talking about the cold behind this, where Dallas could feel sub-zero temperatures or wind chills by the midweek.
Quite a week ahead, Ginger. Thanks. We'll see you first thing in the morning on GMA. Tonight, the White House defending Elon Musk and his team over attempts to obtain access to the system that contains the tax filings and bank statements of millions of Americans. So what do they need it for? As the Trump administration now fires hundreds from the FAA and Homeland Security, among other agencies. Here's Rachel Scott tonight.
Tonight, the White House on the defensive after Elon Musk's team requested access to an IRS system that contains the personal information of millions of Americans, including their tax filings and bank statements. Top administration officials insist it doesn't mean Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency will go sifting through private tax returns of individuals.
I can give absolute 100% insurance. I give you complete and total assurance on that point.
This as the president and Musk proceed with sweeping layoffs of thousands of federal workers. At the IRS, sources tell us 15,000 workers have been identified for possible termination, with tax season just around the corner. And we are learning Trump has fired hundreds of people at the Federal Aviation Administration, just weeks after that deadly crash at Washington's Reagan Airport. The firings touching more than a dozen agencies, including the Departments of Homeland Security, Veterans Affairs, and the Centers for Disease Control. Victoria says she was laid off from the Forest Service in Montana.
I was devastated. I've built my whole life around this. I mean, I've worked for 10 years to get this job. Finally.
She says the layoffs have rocked her whole community.
Down with Project 2025.
Elon Musk doesn't even know my job exists, right? But like, we do a lot. I mean, I'm a public servant and I do this job because I love it. So yeah, I'm devastated and my whole community lost their jobs and I don't know what I'm going to do now.
Other government workers like Elizabeth Anaskevich, who worked for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, described a disorganized, chaotic process that left her with so little information, she says she can't even file for unemployment.
We were just basically tossed out on the streets. And so that has been angering and heartbreaking. And our pay stopped the day we got the termination letter. So we're all without a paycheck as of Tuesday.
And we have seen some of that confusion spread across other parts of the federal government. ABC News has learned that hundreds of workers have been fired at the National Nuclear Security Administration. Sources say that some officials were unaware that those workers were responsible for managing the nation's nuclear weapons system. And over the last few days, officials have been scrambling to hire them back, David.
Rachel Scott in West Palm Beach tonight. Rachel, thank you. Tonight, the high-stakes talks overseas, the U.S. and Russia set to begin and try to end this war in Ukraine. Ukraine not part of these talks, at least for now. And tonight, European leaders are now holding emergency meetings of their own, concerned by what they're seeing. Here's our chief foreign correspondent, Ian Pannell, tonight.
Russia's war in Ukraine is raging. Nearly 3 long years of death and destruction. But tonight, for the first time, a high-stakes meeting to discuss a possible end to the war. Secretary of State Marco Rubio touching down in Saudi Arabia, set to meet with Russian officials tomorrow. These talks, the first in-person discussion between Russia and the US since the war started. Notably absent from these discussions, US allies in Europe and, more importantly, Ukraine. Rubio, accompanied by National Security Advisor Mike Waltz and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff. As well as discussing Ukraine, they'll try to lay the groundwork for a future meeting between President Trump and Vladimir Putin. The talks come just days after the two leaders spoke for more than an hour on the phone.
We're moving along. We're trying to get a peace with Russia, Ukraine, and we're working very hard on it. It's a war that should have never started.
Ukrainian President Zelensky visiting Saudi Arabia Wednesday, but he's not invited to the meeting between the US and Russia. Tonight, saying he won't recognize any agreements made without Ukraine, and warning Trump in a phone call last week that Putin can't be trusted. The dialogue with Russia sending shockwaves across Europe. Leaders there gathering in Paris today for an emergency summit to plan their response. The Trump administration detonating decades of US foreign policy, not just in Europe, but also in the Middle East, where hours ago, Rubio met with the Saudi Crown Prince in an effort to push Trump's idea of a US-controlled Gaza Strip, promising to build the Riviera of the Middle East. David, with talks between the US and Russia set to take place without Ukraine or key European partners, they're now scrambling and holding emergency meetings because they don't like what they're hearing and seeing from the US. David?
Ian Pannell in Poland for us. Ian, thank you. Back here in the U.S. and in New York City tonight, Mayor Eric Adams defying growing calls to resign. And tonight, 4 of his top deputies, including the ones who oversee public safety and public health here in New York, have now resigned. It comes after 7 federal prosecutors quit also in protest over this order to dismiss federal corruption charges against the mayor, accusing the Justice Department of letting Adams off the hook in exchange for helping President Trump with mass deportations. Mayor Adams and the Trump administration deny this. When we come back here tonight, the news coming in on Pope Francis this evening, still in the hospital, what they're now saying about his condition and the words they're now using tonight. And then here at home, the price of eggs hitting a new record high tonight, the size of this price hike in just 1 month. In a moment. Overseas tonight, Pope Francis remains in the hospital in Rome. Vatican officials say he's being treated for what they describe as a complex clinical condition. The 88-year-old Pope was taken to the hospital with bronchitis last week. His fever is now gone, but doctors have prescribed complete rest. He is reading the paper, he's eating, and he's following doctors' orders to rest. Back here in the U.S. tonight, a measles outbreak in West Texas is growing, the largest in that state in 30 years. At least 48 cases now, that number expected to rise. Health officials say all of the patients are either unvaccinated or their status is unknown. 13 hospitalized. 3 unrelated cases confirmed across state lines in New Mexico. When we come back here tonight, the images, the seal found right in the middle of the street here in the Northeast. Where did the seal come from and what they did to save the pup? To the index of other news, the spread of bird flu here in the U.S. sending egg prices to new highs tonight. On average, a dozen eggs now a record $4.95, a 50% rise from last year and up 80 cents from just last month, obviously higher in some places. Now, 68 confirmed human cases of bird flu, but still no human-to-human infection. Well, quite a sight in Connecticut. Authorities rescuing a young seal pup in the middle of downtown New Haven, Connecticut, believed to be about 5 or 6 weeks old, a bit underweight. Officials think it was trying to escape from the ocean and perhaps other seals. The pup was taken to the Mystic Aquarium, getting better tonight. They hope to return the seal to the wild. When we come back here tonight, the news coming in on the passengers involved in this plane crash in Toronto, that plane out of Minneapolis, and what we've just learned here in a moment. Before we go here tonight, the news coming in on that Delta plane crash in Toronto, flight 4819 out of Minneapolis. Tonight we've learned at least 18 people injured, taken to the hospital for evaluation. We're also told all are expected to survive. 76 passengers, 4 crew members on board. We've also learned wind gusts were 40 miles per hour on the ground. Those pilots might have been dealing with that as they tried to land. I'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.